Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's ELLIOTTWAVE Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a great week. We have seen some good price moves in the market. We're expecting that trend to continue into December. This is the last week of November, so we expect the so-called Christmas rally or the festive rally where we see a lot of price trends in the market. So will we be seeing that into the last bit of the year? So that's what we're going to be looking to see if we are going to continue with those trends. So let's have a look here. So we're going to start with the recap of how we looked at the market in the last week, how the market played out, and what we expect going into the new week and into the new month. So let's see how that goes. Before we get started, guys, if you'd like to contact us, you can do so by going into our YouTube channel. Under the description of all our videos, you will find our contact details. You will also notice that we've got a brand new website. So make note of that link. We've got a brand new website that is trading-waves.com, where we've got all the content for traders in one place. It's amazing content, and I'll show you how that works as we go on, as I did in the last week as well. So as we're going with the market analysis, I'll be showing you exactly how the website works. But otherwise, what is important on the website is that we have got all, let's say, 4 time frames for each and every chart that I analyze here during the weekly outlook. So on the weekly, daily, 4-hour and the 1-hour charts, you find that on the website, if you remember, and you'll have 2 of those charts updated in a day. So twice a day, we update the charts on the 1 hour. So let me just give you an example here, how this works. So you'll go to the resources. Obviously, you should have access to this. If you've subscribed to the channel, you'll be able to see this. So these are all our instruments, over 50 instruments that we cover, from commodities, cryptos, crosses, indices, US dollar pairs, you name it. Right, so what we have there, you'll find that, let's just pick up one here. You will find, say, for example, pound yen. If you've got pound yen there, you will have a chart for the start. This is the 1 hour chart. Before the start of the London session, every single day, this 1 hour chart will be updated. So that means when you start your day, you already have a chart prepared for you and ready to analyze and get into the market the way you like. So then later on into the New York session, we update the chart again. 4 hour time frames are also updated whenever there are changes. By changes, it means that if the forecast has not gone according to the prediction, then we update that chart. But otherwise, this is almost a medium-term view on the 4 hour chart, where we've got the chart always ready. And we'll update this every single week. The daily charts are also updated over the weekend. We update all of this. So this gives you the long-term view of how we're looking at the market as far as the daily chart and the weekly chart is concerned. Any updates on this, or the weekly chart will be updated once every quarter, because this, it takes a couple of candles to actually have a weekly chart. One candle in a week. So that's why we have to update only this only once a quarter, that is a weekly, unless there are significant changes to the forecast. Right, so what you will also find with this is we've got the live trading room. I think this is what most of our members like. So while you've got all the charts, we still discuss these charts during our live trading room, where we look for actual trading opportunities, where we identify where we like to enter, where we put our stop loss, as well as take profit areas, and the indicator that we use to confirm trade executions. We also have the daily technical video, which is publicly available for everyone. So you guys can check that out on our YouTube channel. Then we've got our chart of the week. Please check out the chart of the week. We will be updating it immediately after this webinar. Then we've got this weekly outlook, which we host every single week or at 8 a.m. GMT. You can subscribe or you can register to attend this live on Zoom. Every Sunday at 8 a.m. we've got a live session. Then we also have the crypto webinar, which happens immediately after this. Right, so let's get started. Those are the contact details. Let's have a look at how the market played out. What did we predict the market to do in the last week? Let's start with the crosses here. So let's have a look at this one. This one is very interesting because you see that the forecast here was done, make note here, August 28. So this is the power of wave analysis. This is about 2 months back already, where we were forecasting that we are going to have this price move to the upside and the price was going to drop. So that means from August, we would be trading only to the upside until we get to this level. When we get to this level, we know that the trend has changed. We are only going to be looking for selling opportunities until our price forecast completes or it reaches the target that we're looking at. This is New Zealand CAD. So we looked for this one to play out the W in red, the X in red, and to complete the Y in red. Then we look for the red degree here. Let's see here. So what you're going to see now is this red degree coming down. You see the red degree coming up here to complete the Y. What you're going to see is 1, 2, 3. Make note of this 1, 2, 3 that I'm showing you now, so you can understand how that works. Right, let's have a look. So that was the New Zealand CAD from August 28. How did this play out? So indeed, as forecasted, this was the red degree that I was talking about shortly. The red degree goes to the upside as forecasted. We expect, what do we expect? We expect another move in the red degree to come to the downside. Now you see the 3 waves I was talking about here. Yes, this one came pretty deep compared to what we expected. We wanted it to just make a zigzag, but that was the forecast. That is the cycle. We expect that it comes down in 3 waves. So you can see how many moves did we forecast here? We've got the 1, we've got the 2, we've got the 3, we've got a 4th move here that we're focusing. What is the expectation going into the new week? We expect this to consolidate here and continue to the downside. And that is how New Zealand CAD is playing out. From the 28th, we still have the forecast right on the 4-hour chart, and we're going to continue to the downside as follows. Right, so it's important to understand the sequence in the cycle so that you trade with that direction. Right, so let's have a look at the next one. So that was New Zealand CAD, and very nice one. Another one that we've been looking at for a while. Let's have a look at this one. Now, this was also October 23, so last month. So we're looking for this one to just complete the 3 waves and come to the downside. Those who remember will remember that we focused that this was going to make a move up here and give us a 3-wave correction here. That is the sequence in the cycle that we were expecting on this. So we were expecting the move to the upside and the downside. But for now, I'm just going to show you this one here, the 3 waves here, and we're looking for this one to come down. That is New Zealand, AUD New Zealand. Let's have a look at how that has played out. So this is how the AUD New Zealand has played out. Eventually, we've got the move to the upside. We've got the 3 waves that we're expecting. Now, make note here, the cycle that we're in. We're in the white degree AB. The focus was to simply get a zigzag and a move to the downside, but we understand that any corrective structure can play out. So instead of getting a single correction, we got a single flat correction here. And that is a running flat. And that is how this one has played out, eventually making a move to the downside. So we still have the sequence right. We still have this as a correction. That's AB in the Y degree. And then the C that we were looking for, now we've made a move to the upside. We're consolidating here. We expect a move to the upside. So just to give you a reminder, so this was the AB in white. That's the AB in white. But as you've seen, this AB in white here has played out as a running flat as follows. Does not change the sequence. It has just changed the corrective structure there. That is AUD in New Zealand. Right. Now we've got pound chief. Now pound chief, I'm just going to show you the one from the last week. But if you've been watching our webinars, you remember that we forecasted that this was going to drop from here. When we made this corrective structure here, we also forecasted a move here, a trade from the blue box. So from here, we got the move. From here, we got the move. But just in the last week, we were looking for this one to just pull back. This is a simple 1-hour setup. So we were looking for this one to complete the B in purple and continue to the downside. Let's have a look at that as how that has played out here. So that is the pound chief after we've got our purple B. As you can see, our purple B here has played out inch perfect in 3 waves. And now we're coming to the downside here like that. So we've seen this one last week. So we've now dropped and we're expecting continuation to the downside. All the pairs that have got the chief as the quoted pair are still pretty much bearish, and you'll see that as we continue with the market analysis. That's how we're looking at that. So that was a short one here on the 1 hour. AUDCAD, now let's have a look at AUDCAD. What we expected of AUDCAD, we expected just a pullback on AUDCAD. Let's have a look. This is the chart after. Let's look at the one before. So AUDCAD, simply on the 1 hour, we expected this to just give us a pullback here in 3 waves. So the purple B is what we're looking for here on AUDCAD and continue to the downside, similar to what we're expecting on New Zealand CAD as well. That's a pound CAD rather, pound CHF rather. So that is the B. Just make note of the B in purple. We're looking for this B wave and continuation to the downside. That's how that is playing out. So let's have a look at this one. How did that play out afterwards? The B in purple. So we've changed the cycle on this one. It is no longer the purple B. We've changed the cycle to a green degree. So that happens as the market is continuing to the downside. So that is the move here that we expected on AUDCAD. Okay, let's have a look at the rest. So pound CAD, now pound CAD also was an interesting one because this corrective structure in 3 waves, remember, was in the first week of November where we expected a deeper pullback. So as bearish as this was, we knew that this was going to give us a 3-wave pullback because it was in that cycle. So we wanted to see that B in white degree. So let's have a look at how that B is playing out. The white degree B on pound CAD. And what we expect going forward. So you'll see that that is the white degree B, this is the A, B, C structure. So it is playing out inch perfect. That is the move to the downside, a move down, and a move to the upside. So we just need to get these to play out here as follows. Let's just do this. This 1, 2, 3 there, 1, 2, 3 there, 1, 2. We're expecting a bit of a pullback or a consolidation before this completes a move to the upside. Then we'll resume a move to the downside. That is pound CAD. And now we're looking at that. All right, so let's have a look here. Pound CHF. Now this one, let's have a look at pound CHF. So pound CHF, I want you to make note of the dates. August 31st. We needed this one to push a little bit higher to about 0.086 and continue all the way to the downside. So we have been bearish on EURCHF and pound CHF for a while. So what did we want here? We wanted this to just push up here and continue with the downside. So I have been saying, even when we were here, that never buy EURCHF or pound CHF, because long term we are bearish. So how does this play out? So let's have a look here. From the 28th, all our 1 hour charts on EURCHF have been bearish moves. So look at this one. How does that play out? That is the move here. It pushes to the upside as expected. Now you can check from 0.920 to where we are now at 0.04. That's over 500 pips to the downside as forecasted, excluding this move to the upside that was forecasted. That is all that move. So you can imagine from here, we will just been expecting that we're going to continue to the downside, continuation to the downside. Every time you get a pullback, continuation to the downside. So that is how we focus now. That's how we trade with the trend. So we know the trend is downside, so that means any trade setup that we're going to get, especially when we came to here, if you remember, we had a trade setup here on the B degree, looking for downside. The first one was here, so we are now still expecting this to continue to the downside. We are currently within the blue box area. We want to see a reaction at current levels. Okay, so this is the latest chart on the 28th, and if we go on EURCHF, let's just have a look here on EURCHF. So the expectation is that from current levels, even if you do push slightly lower here, we want to see at least a 3-wave pullback, and that is expectation into the new week, right? So that is EURCHF, and that is the last one that we're going to discuss here now. So this is just a peek of some of the good trades that we had. We have a win rate as far as the forecast. There's difference between trades executed and the forecast. So the forecast is simple, really, because you're not taking all the trades. This has got an accuracy of over 90%, and the trades executed 69 to 72%, and that is what makes the difference. All right, so let's get started with the weekly outlook. Right, let's start with Euro US dollar. So we'll start with the US dollar pairs. Those that are interested in the crypto webinar, you can check it out on the channel, and we will be hosting that webinar immediately after this. Right, let's have a look here at the DXY. Okay, so I'm going to first go to the charts on the website. Let's just refer to the charts on the website, see how the DXY is playing out here and what we're expecting here on the DXY. Let's start with the DXY. We're going to come to the euro now. Let's go to the DXY. So the DXY, the latest New York chart. So that was a Friday afternoon. This was New York on Friday. We're expecting a pullback here, 1, 2, 3. You will see that we already have started the first leg to the downside. This is the 1 hour chart on Friday afternoon. We're expecting this to give us a 3-wave pullback and continue to the upside. So let's have a look here at what we expected, what we're expecting here. On the weekly, we're expecting this one to just give us this 1, 2, I hope you can see this one clearly here. We're expecting this one to give us 1, 2, 3 and continue to the downside. But this move here to the upside, the 1, 2, the 3 is still continuing to the upside and has reached our invalidation level. So that means even if we're getting that 3-wave pullback that I'm showing you now on the New York chart, that is not a reversal anymore. It is simply a 3-wave pullback. So this is what we're expecting into the new week as far as the DXY is concerned, a 3-wave pullback at least. And we're expecting similar on the Euro US dollar as well, just the inverse. So if you look at the 1 hour chart from Friday afternoon on the New York, we're expecting also a 3-wave pullback. Let's go to New York because that is the last chart of the week before we update the charts of the weekend. So we're expecting these 3 waves. I'm going to go to the live chart so you can see how this has started the reversal here. We're expecting a 3-wave pullback as well and then continuation to the downside. Because this has been invalidated, we are not going to get these 3 waves to continue to the upside like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you also the possible alternatives as well on that. So this is the DXY. Let's go down to the 1 hour chart. As you can see, from New York, we expected that this is going to give us a 3-wave pullback. So we've already made an impulse. The first impulse, we should have a 3-wave pullback and a continuation to the downside. Gives us a deeper corrective structure before we resume the move to the upside. Similarly, on Euro US dollar, we've already started that move to the upside that we were talking about. We've got a 5-wave impulse to the upside. We can get a 3-wave pullback here and continuation to the upside. Then we'll look for this one to continue to the downside. So that is the forecast between Euro and the DXY. They're both inverses of each other. So just a 3-wave pullback is what we are expecting going into the new week. Right, pound US dollar. Pound US dollar has made a 3-wave pullback here. This is 3 waves on pound US dollar, 1, 2, 3. We're expecting that this is going to continue to the downside. Okay, if it doesn't, that means we're going to get a double correction here as follows. Still, that will be a continuation move to the downside. So let's watch this current corrective structure here for a move to the downside. This is actually a 1 hour, so it's too small for this one to just continue up like that. But this is pretty much bearish. Even if we do see this drop from current levels, we can still get a deeper one from here before we continue to the downside. Okay, so I want you to see here why we could be long-term bearish on pound US dollar. Let's have a look here on on pound US dollar long-term chart. I'm going to show you the long-term view on the US dollar, pound US dollar. Let's have a look here at the weekly chart. So the weekly chart on pound US dollar, we are currently here. We wanted to see one more up, the same way we wanted to see one more up on Euro US dollar. But this move must be confirmed by the indicator. If the indicator does not confirm this move, we're going to look at a move to continue lower here, because this may have completed this wave 4 already. So what that will mean is that we've got a wave 4 completed, and we are going to look for this to continue to the downside. Okay, what does that mean? Because we're looking at this as an ending diagonal, that will simply mean that this is our ending diagonal there. And this has completed. This is a weekly chart, so this is a big move to the downside. So if that is ready for a move there. So as I've been saying with pound US dollar, let's have a look here on the daily. If you see a setup for downside on the 4 hour or the daily, start taking that, and that has already happened here. Since we said that we've got a 4 hour setup here, we've got a move down. Any pullback here, we'll look for this one to continue to the downside. So let's keep an eye on pound US dollar for any moves to the downside. Right, US dollar CAD, you have to look at this daily chart here. Why are we expecting that to continue up like that? So US dollar CAD is making a move like this. That is a move up here. That is a pullback. We'll be expecting US dollar CAD to at least get up to this level. This can either be a WXY corrective structure, okay, WXY, or we could be starting a move up here in 5 waves to the upside. Okay, but I'm not too concerned about which move it's going to be making. I'm concerned about where it's going to be going. And in this case, we are looking for this to push to the upside. Whether it's the start of an impulse or a corrective structure, doesn't matter. We'll decide when we get to this level. That is about 600 or 700 pips from current levels. That's where we're going to make a decision. So that means from now, you look for upside. Okay, so that is a US dollar CAD. Why are we looking for that? Simple three-wave structure. Okay, US dollar CHF. Now, US dollar CHF is pretty interesting. We have looked at this chart here last week, looking at this one to be a running flat, 1, 2, 3. I wanted it to take to the top here. It does not have to take the top, so we can get this one playing out as follows: the move down here and a move to the downside here. So we could be starting the move to the downside here. Interesting that we have got a pullback here on the DXY. That pullback could result in US dollar CHF coming to the downside like that. So that's what we have here. So to complete the structure here, if we want to complete it, there will be a move up here in A, the whole B, and a C, just to look at the latest structure here. Okay, so we're not too concerned about the rest of the moves. So we're expecting to see if we're going to have confirmation for this one to make a move to the downside. Break below this, we'll see this one come around this level and we'll have that structure. That is a US dollar CHF, and that is the expectation. You'll see that we've already made a reversal on US dollar CHF on Friday. So let's have a look at that. It's going to be sustained. We'll expect this one to give us a three-wave pullback and continuation to the downside. Audi US dollar. Those who have missed the 50% Black Friday special, make note that we are running a 30% discount only up until Wednesday next week. That is the last day of the month. Our next course starts tomorrow, the 29th of November. So the course starts at 18:30 GMT. We run for about 4 hours every single day up until for 10 days. So that is how the course is structured. So 18:30 to about 22:30 GMT every single day for the next 10 days. That is the last course of the year. The next one is going to be only in February. So if you still want to catch the current year's course, go to our new website and subscribe for the course at a 30% discount. Right, so that is, let's have a look at the rest here now. Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar, we are playing out these structures. Let's go to the charts here. Let's go to the charts here. Let's have a look at Audi US dollar. We're still on the US dollar pairs. Let's have a look at Audi US dollar. Always easier to refer to the charts here. I think it also makes it easier for you to understand what we're looking at as far as the market is concerned here. So the 4 hour on Audi US dollar, we are playing out this corrective structure. That is the red X here. You won't see the color properly here. That is the WXY corrective structure. We are coming down here. We should get a three-wave pullback similar to what we're expecting on Euro US dollar. A three-wave pullback, which is going to be a continuation to the downside so that these can play out. So let's have a look at the bigger structure here on Audi on the daily. So you can see where we're coming from with this. So we started with a three-wave move to the downside, similar to what has happened with the Euro. Let me show you the similarities now. We've got this one. It overextended. We were so expecting this one to just play out as a three-wave, give us one more up and then downside. But just like the Euro, it became overextended, and we said, because it's overextended, the move that's going to come back here, it is no longer going to be the reversal, because that's no longer three waves. It is rather going to be a pullback and continuation to the downside. That's why we are seeing this. We expect this, so we can have this one making a WXY corrective structure. So any move here, we can still have the lower degree pullback, but this will be a deeper one here that we can sell even more. That is Audi US dollar, similar to New Zealand. On the daily, you'll see New Zealand is a lot clearer with a three-wave move to the downside. This is 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. Let's show all the three waves. It's 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. We're expecting another 3 waves to the downside. Look at this inch perfect textbook kind of corrective structure. 1, 2, 3 up. Expect 1, 2, 3, making this a WXY corrective structure. So if we see a pullback here, that will be the red degree, and we'll look for this one to continue to the downside afterwards. That is our New Zealand US dollar. So no need to even go to the 4 hour, because that's just an impulsive move to the downside. We're simply waiting for this to pull back, especially around this level. You see that this will make a three-wave pullback that will be consolidating around this level. We'll see more downside. US dollar ZAR. Okay, so US dollar ZAR, the ZAR is very weak against the US dollar. Let's have a look here. So we're expecting the similar structure to what we're seeing with the New Zealand CAD, where we're expecting this one to play out as a three-wave structure. This has reached the three-wave structure. Do we get a reversal from there? We can get a three-wave pullback and a continuation to the downside. So we're expecting a three-wave pullback from current levels on US dollar ZAR, but the move is still pretty much bearish to the upside. There's no sign of reversal, so we still expect US dollar ZAR to push up higher. Now, pound yen, incidentally, I'm on the daily chart here. So pound yen, just like pound US dollar, I've been talking about how this has got the potential to drop for many, many pips to the downside. Look at this structure here. I've been showing this structure for some time now here. That is a regular flat, a textbook regular flat. Okay, textbook regular flat. Why do I call it textbook? Because we've got a simple A, B, and the C there. That is A, B, C. And this one here is a diagonal. Let's show that diagonal with a different color. So this is your diagonal here. I just want to be a bit more detailed. That is a diagonal there. That is A, B, C corrective structure. That's your C there. That is a move down here. 1, 2, 3. So that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all correlates. Now you've got here 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks like a 5 here that just completes there. So you've got a textbook 3, 3, 5 flat correction. If you go to your textbook, you read anything about wave theory, about a flat correction or regular flat correction, you know that it's got a 3, 3, 5 corrective structure. We are here now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Two ways this can play out. This can drop here. It will drop to around this level. If the move has completed to the downside, we're going to see this drop many, many pips to the downside. Possibilities, there's a possibility for this to do that. Take the low here and make one more move to the downside. What will that mean? That will mean that you've got this one. Let me erase here so we can make it clean. I want you to understand this clearly. So instead of your wave 4 being a single pullback here, would be a flat correction on an expanding one or a running one. We get one more move to the upside. But all this does not matter. You're not going to miss it if it pushes up first or if it continues from here. For now, we are trading this back to this level. If we break below this, we pull back, it's over for pound yen. We're going to see thousands of pips, hundreds of pips to the downside. Where are we now? Last week we spoke about this. We've got a reversal here. We'll look for this one to come down here. So we will be anticipating this to come and do this. You'll see that's the same structure on most of the yen pairs as we go on. So we want to see if those flat corrections are actually continuation patterns, or is it just going to be a move to the downside, or we've ended the move there. So for now, look for downside up until here. US dollar yen also could have completed its upside here. We're starting with a deeper move, with deeper corrective structure to the downside here. Let's see if we're going to get that here on US dollar yen. Euro yen, similar. You see that euro pound yen is actually playing out the structure that euro yen is playing out. If I just show you here, left hand side, euro yen, right hand side, pound yen. Let's put pound yen there. So I want you to see the similarities. So we've got I want them both on the 4 hour. So we can compare apples with apples. Left hand side, pound yen, right hand side, euro yen. So euro yen is leading pound yen in terms of the structure that we're looking at. It's a move down, it's a 3-wave push to the upside, and it is coming down like that. Pound yen, same. 1 move to the downside, 1, 2, 3 upside. We are looking for this one to come down. So that's why even when we were here, we were expecting pound yen to simply continue to the downside, because euro yen had already done so prior. Okay, so if you look at where we are currently, euro yen already corrected here. This correction on euro was here when this was doing this. So we already saw this. From there, it had dropped, but at that point, it was only correcting there on pound yen. So it's following this fractals. So we're looking for this to continue to the downside. So both euro and the pound, we're expecting continuation moves to the downside. If we complete that structure, let's go back here, daily, giving a bit more detail here. Watch out for this. We'll be looking for some really good trade setup. So if we continue from here and this trade and this corrective structure does not play out for one more up, we are going to see hundreds of pips to the downside. And that is where most traders are going to miss it, because most traders know how to read the market, know the direction of the market even, but they don't know when to execute and when to exit the market. And this is that's a skill that is very important here. So we'll be looking for that. That is Euro Yen, Chief Yen, similar. Let's have a look at Chief Yen, has made an impulsive move to the upside. Chief Yen is simple. We are simply looking for this here on the daily. A move to the upside in 3, a move back here, and a move up here. So move up in 5, a move back in 3, and a move up in 5. Now with Chief Yen, structurally it makes sense for this to start making a move all the way to the downside. So watch this move for the downside. It has not yet confirmed. We'll be looking for this to confirm to the downside. If it confirms, we're going to be looking for hundreds of pips to the downside as well. That is Chief Yen, AUD Yen. Now AUD Yen, does this structure look any familiar on the daily? Does it look familiar? We've just seen this on Euro Yen and Pound Yen. What do we expect? This to come down here. If it's going to play a continuation to the upside, or if it's going to just pull back and continue to the downside, this is what we're going to decide here. All the yen pairs are doing the same structure. AUD Yen, New Zealand Yen, same. Does it look familiar? 1, 2, 3 up. We're coming down. Let's see what happens when you get to this level. Either 3-wave pullback, continuation to the downside, and a move to the downside. Overall, we're expecting a move to the downside. CAD Yen, any different? Looks familiar? Obviously it does. So we're looking for this, we're looking for this to come to the downside. At this level, we'll make a decision whether we get one more up, downside, or we just get a pullback from here and downside. That is the yen pairs. Very interesting how the yen pairs are developing. Let's have a look at the commodities. Gold, very interesting on gold. So gold, let me show you the whole structure here. I'm just going to show you here on gold. That structure on gold is playing out as follows. So we've got a pulsing move there. We've got a 3-wave move to the downside, 1, 2, 3. We've got a move 1, 2, 3 up. So at this point here, we expected gold to come down. Now we're expecting gold to do the same 1, 2, 3 to the downside. We left that structure. I've shown this before, 1, 2, and then we'll be looking for this one to have completed that structure as follows. That will be an A, B, C. Sorry guys for a break there, something happened, but let's continue. Everything seems to be good now. So that is the structure. Let me just repeat here. Let me just draw it again here quickly. So gold structure is as follows. It's a pulsing move to the upside. It's a 3-wave move to the downside. It's a 3-wave move to the upside. 1, 2, 3. So that is the structure we've got in gold, and we've got this one playing out as follows. Okay, what I'm going to do here is just to show you the overall structure when it's complete. The move down here, it's a move down here. Then we look for more upside. That will be a WXY corrective structure. That is a long-term focused on gold. So, but don't worry about that. For now, focus on this. We want to see here a pullback and continuation to the downside. That is the move that we are looking at on gold to complete this. So we can have this one here giving us a 3-wave pullback here as follows. Let's change the color. WXY here. Then you're going to have your ABC corrective structure here. Now somebody may be asking, why do you sometimes label ABC, sometimes WXY? There's absolutely a difference. There's a definite difference, and that is a very long discussion. It's actually a whole module where we spent discussing when it's an ABC, when it's a WXY, and what that all means for the sequence in the cycle. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the details of this. So for now, focus on correction and downside on gold. Silver. Okay, you'll notice that I'm showing you the daily chart because this is at critical levels now. That's where we're going to see a reversal, where we want to see a reversal. So silver, we've made a 3-wave pullback here. Look for continuation to the downside here, at least back to this level. Similar to what we're expecting on gold, that 3-wave pullback is what we're expecting, can come in 4 hour. So let's have a look at that. So we'll be expecting that we have at least a 3-wave pullback on silver as well. Sorry, Right, so that is silver. Silver, we've got a 3-wave pullback on the 4 hour. We've got a pulsing move. Those who trade trend lines will say that it's already broken. We're expecting a 3-wave pullback here and a continuation to the downside, similar to what we're expecting on gold. All right, so that is silver, platinum. Now, platinum, you have to go to the daily to see what is happening here with platinum. So we've got that structure here on platinum. We've got a 5-wave move to come into the downside. So 1, it's a 2, it's a 3, it's a 4, it's a 5. We're expecting this to continue to the downside here. So we've already broken this corrective structure, which we focused it from here and then move to the upside here. We wanted it to go all the way. So what we're gonna see here is this one coming down here to complete this leg around 850. That's what we're expecting on platinum. Still bearish. We may consolidate a bit here, but we'll look for continuation to the downside on platinum. Right, Brent crude oil. Brent crude oil, we wanted to see this push to the upside here. We had a setup looking for this one to make one more move to the upside. It looks like Brent crude oil has started the long-term reversal here. Deeper corrective structure here. Look at this 1, 2, 3. This is a running flat here and a 5. So it looks like we're going to start a deeper correction here on Brent crude oil. Look for this one here. We're going to have a pullback, not at current levels, and we're going to have this one coming back around this level before resumption of the move to the upside. So finally, we're getting the deeper corrective structure on Brent crude oil. Could it be playing out this as a flat? That's also a possibility, but we're not too worried about the bigger structure. We're just going to be looking at this for now. So we're taking it one wave at a time. We're on the move to the downside. Should continue lower before we get a pullback to give us that structure. That is Brent crude oil. Pound AUD. Now, pound AUD, it's important also to look at this from the daily perspective. We've made a move up here in 3, a move back in 3. We're expecting a move like that on pound AUD. Okay, so pound AUD could even get as far as this level here. We've got a 3-wave pullback here. We started with 3 waves here. We've got a 3-wave move here. We're expecting pound AUD to push up higher, pull back, and continue to the upside to give us a WXY corrective structure. I should have shown this in a different color, but that's okay. Let's try it like that. So you can see, I want you to see where that comes from, the cycles. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're looking for this to push up higher. 1, 2, 3. But that all comes back from this whole sequence here. We'll be looking for that. For now, look for continuation to the upside. Pound New Zealand, same. Now, Pound New Zealand is even clearer. You've got here, I'm only looking at the latest structure here. We've got 3 waves to the upside. We've got 3 waves back. We've got what looks like it's going to be another 3 waves to the upside before any move to the downside. That is Pound New Zealand. Okay, I'm not even showing you the lower degrees because the lower degrees, what you're only going to see here is just a simple impulse. So there's nothing to look at there. You know that that's already an impulse, so we want to see a pullback. So with the higher degree structure, I want you to see where that all comes from. Pullback, we'll look for continuation to the upside. So that means we're going to consolidate into the coming week. Pound CAD, we've already gone through this one during trade recaps. You can just refer to trade recaps on Pound CAD. We're looking for that to continue to the upside, forecasted way back in November. Pound CHF, we've already looked at this one as well. So those who remember Pound CHF, we forecasted it from here, looking for this to come where it is now. So we are still looking for this to continue to the downside. 1, 2, 3 downside here. Okay, so we're still bearish on Pound CHF. Euro Pound. Now, Euro Pound in the long term, we may be making a deeper structure here as follows. Let's show it on the daily here. It's easier to see it on the daily as well. So that means we'll be looking for setups in the lower degree. As much as I'm showing you the daily chart, we take our trades in the 4 and the 1 hour. We'll be looking for this to come up around this level. Okay, so this is still a continuation pattern to the upside. For downside, but we are looking for this one to come and retest this level here and continue to the downside. Long-term downside, we may be making a move to the upside here for about 100, 150 pips to retest this level here, but long-term, we are still expecting that to make a move to the downside. That's Euro Pound. Euro AUD will be similar to Pound AUD as it has made a move up here, a 3-wave move. Will it make another move to the upside here, just like Pound AUD? So we can get that and we look for downside. So let's see if this is going to continue to the push to the upside. And Euro New Zealand, similar. Okay, so Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, we'll be looking at it as an impulse, but if you see this one here, it has touched this level, so that's not an impulse. So we'll be looking for this one to simply just give us a 3-wave pullback to around this level. That is Euro New Zealand, EURCHF. EURCHF, we've got a simple bounce here. I'm also going to just expect here to give us a 3-wave pullback. Nothing confirmed as far as reversal is concerned there. So it's just a single impulse for now that it does not that doesn't confirm anything. So we want to see if that's going to be sustained by confirmation. So we've got to move up here, look for a pullback. It must be shallow if this is going to continue to the upside. EURCHF, we've already talked about EURCHF. You've seen EURCHF during trade recaps, just refer to trade recaps on EURCHF, but we're expecting this to continue being bearish. Right, AUD New Zealand, also during trade recaps, we've discussed that. So what is the expectation here? So the expectation on this one here is that we could have this one as a running flat, a move up here, consolidation at current levels, we could be coming up to this level. AUDCAD. AUDCAD is also playing this level, this move here. So we've got to move down here. Any pullback here, we are still bearish on AUDCAD. AUDCHF, just like all the chief pairs, nothing new there. This should come to around this level. We should see this one push lower here, pull back and continue to the downside. So all the chief pairs are pushing lower. Pound CAD, I showed you this one during trade recaps, how we focused the move from here, coming down here, this pullback here, and then downside. So we're still expecting this to continue lower. Pullback here, continuation to the downside. Right, so that is New Zealand CAD. New Zealand chief. All the pairs that have got a chief in them are bearish. We'll push lower, 1, 2, 3. We'll see more downside. That is New Zealand chief. CAD chief. Spoke about this in depth. Remember, CAD chief, the structure is 3 down, it's 3 up. We're looking for this to make another 3 down. Where does that come from? We've got to move down here in 3, 1, 2, 3. We saw these 3 waves up here, and as it was coming down, we said last week 1, 2, 3, and downside. That's where we are, looking for more downside on CAD chief. The indices, it's time for deeper corrections. We've made the 5 waves that we were talking about over the last couple of days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should see this one start moves to the downside. Okay, now if you look at your RSI, you'll see that, let's have a look here. You'll see that we had a very strong divergence towards the end here. And this is what I was cautioning about when this was happening, that at any time you're going to have a deeper corrective structure here. I started cautioning here because that was what the indicator was showing us, that we're going to have a reversal there. So as you can see, expect a deeper correction on the indices all round, whether it's the Dow Jones Industrial, we've already made a move to the downside. We'll be expecting this to give us a deeper correction. Okay, so that is now happening. The NASDAQ as well. Towards the end of the move, 5 waves are completed. These are the 5 waves we're looking to complete. That's been completed. Now we're looking for a deeper correction. Okay, so that is the NASDAQ. UK 100, same. So the UK 100, we've been seeing this push up higher with that confirmation from the RSI. Now we've got this pulling back here with a deeper move. Expect this one to still be pulsive. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. So it can start a move with 5 waves, then we'll expect a deeper one before continuation to the downside. That is the UK 100 and the DAX. Looking at the DAX, so the DAX has already started with a deeper correction here. That's the move. Remember, we've been looking for this to have completed 5 waves here. We've got our 5 waves. We're starting with the move to the downside here. Now, this is going to be the move that we expect. These may be very shallow moves, okay? And continue to the downside. We can have a shallow move and continuation. Only around that level can we get a deeper one. So that's what we're going to be expecting into the new week. Nikkei. Now, the Nikkei looks like that leading diagonal that we're expecting is not going to play out, and this is instead a corrective structure. So let's consolidate. We're going to watch what the integration of the rest of the structure is going to be if we come back to around this level. We were looking for this one to push to the upside, but it looks like this is going to come to the downside with a 3-wave move. So let's see how that's going to play out. So we've got a 1, 2, 3 here. We could have 1, 2, 3 there. We already have the 1, 2, 3 there. So this could be a nice WXY corrective structure. So it won't be surprising to see the Nikkei drop to this level. It will be a decent Elliott wave structure like that. Let's see how that plays out. That is the Nikkei. And lastly, the Nifty, we've been looking at this to be playing out a three-wave structure, but it looks like we've started a pulsing move. So we're simply looking for this and for this to continue to the upside, but it looks like just like the rest of the indices, this is going to be an impulsive move here with 5 waves. So we're still going to see much lower moves here before we get any deeper one and then downside on the Nifty. And that's all on the Forex space. And that's all for this week, guys. If you like what we do, give us a thumbs up by pushing the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so, and also hit that bell notification button so you get an alert next time we upload a video. And don't forget to check out our next course, which starts tomorrow. All right, trade responsibly. See you next week. Cheers. Bye-bye.